How can people identify that fear? Because for conversations that I've had with people in the past and it's like this weird fine line that I run a financial planning business. People pay us money to help them with their finances. And sometimes we talk to people and we just see there's just so much opportunity for them to do things. And then you continue down these conversations and we're very, gentle, and we don't want to, push people, especially when, we're mindful of the thought that people go, oh, you're just telling me to do this because you want to, get another client, or this benefits you or whatever. But sometimes I honestly just feel like shaking people and going, guys, like, what are you doing? Like, there's so much opportunity for you. And I can tell that I don't know how to identify what that fear is, but you can see that it's like a self-sabotage, that they're shooting themselves in the foot. But like you say, that they're potentially not always aware of it. Certainly not a very easy conversation for a financial planner to go, hey guys, you got some mindset stuff that's holding you back. But how could people identify their fears, or for a professional that's faced with people, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one that's worked with people in that sort of situation, how can we help people to understand that it is actually a fear that's stopping them from, like you say, I forget exactly how you put it, but taking that confident action?
So first of all, I should say that I've just written a book about this. So it's called The Loudest Guest, and it's about how to control and change your relationship with fear. And that is, I think, the closest to a workbook that you'll get in terms of understanding how to get closer to your fears. I've called it The Loudest Guest because I think that fear is the loudest guest in our head, but we just can't always identify where and when it shows up. So if you want a workbook kind of thing with questions to help you get closer to it, I would recommend getting the book. But essentially what you're doing for anybody is to help them externalize the internal narrative. Now, what that can look like, particularly when people are already frightened of that fear or frightened of sharing that fear, because nobody wants to particularly look abnormal or vulnerable.
Yes.
And we know that money is really closely linked to our sense of self and our sense of value. So as soon as you're talking about an internal narrative that's very closely linked to core values, you are in emotional territory. Like that's, it's really difficult for people. So the easiest way to kind of normalize this enough for people to have a conversation that's external is to show them the kind of fears that people may experience about this. So by listing out the kind of fears that you see, or by saying, I don't know if you feel this, but I feel this, or what most of our clients have felt, is you kind of give people the permission to be acceptable with their fears. And that may help the people to relinquish some of the control that they've got over showing what that internal narrative is. Does that make sense? So you're looking for the unspoken, but in order for them to be able to have that unspoken out loud, you need to provide a level of safety. And that safety probably comes from, first of all, the quality of your relationship, but second of all, that they feel that this is a safe enough space that that you get what's going on. Yeah. This isn't going to be, you're not going to sit there and judge them.
I love that. I'm busy writing notes. I'm thinking, go get the book, factor it into some email content so that people see it, because you're right, that money is one of these things that it is so emotional, and we get, you get into people's whole lives and what they want to do, and then some of the big decisions that they're making, starting families, changing jobs, like all of those sorts of things that, there's a financial aspect that we need to understand so that we can help people make the best financial decisions. But then there's a lot of emotional stuff that's driving these decisions as well. So
and there's so much proof now from psychology, and I'm sure it's very proven in the financial land too, but that decisions are not rational. That there is no evidence to point towards that people make rational decisions. So providing rational data is not the way to help people deliberately choose the right option for them. It's got to be on a different level. And I think, this is me slightly sort of taking us off topic, but I think that the financial trusted advisors in the future world and the modern world are those that get that principle, those that are building relationships that allow for that honesty and transparency and those deeper conversations. That's my sense anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, we definitely see that with the people, especially when we work with them over a period of time, that they know trust and get into. I've had some really unexpected but interesting conversations in that space too. But sometimes it's at the earlier on in the piece where it's like you haven't had the time to create that. You could see the potential, but haven't had the time to create that's that safe space, I suppose. As you say. But
I think it's also a little bit of a way that we have kind of got out of the hard stuff of learning how to create trust, that we've given ourselves a bit of an excuse that it takes time.